Hello everyone, it's me Sanjay Vasu back again for another video. This time I'm doing it on Cambridge Lower Secondary Checkpoint for Mathematics, Paper 1 October 2022. You're not allowed to use a calculator, let's start. Question 1. Anastasia collects information to investigate the statement. Older teachers pay more for their cars than younger teachers. Tick the two items that are most relevant to our investigation. So the first thing is they're comparing older teachers to younger teachers, which means the age of the teacher matters. And now they're comparing the price which they pay for the car because they're hypothesizing that older teachers pay more. So you need to know what the price of the car is bought by the older teachers and younger teachers. And that's why the fourth option is the other one. The subject the teacher teaches and if the teacher is male or female are not really relevant in this investigation. Question 2. Oliver throws a ball at a basketball hoop 20 times. He scores a basket 7 times, he misses 13 times. Use this information to estimate the probability of Oliver scoring a basket. So that'll be the number of times he scores a basket divided by the total number of times he throws the ball, which is 7 divided by 20. It's just 7 by 20. That's the answer. Question 3. When Eva works for 8 hours, she earns $25. Work out how much she earns when she works for 10 hours. So that means H is equal to 10. So 25H will be 25 times 10, which is equal to $250. That's the answer. Question 4. Yusuf has a 2-liter bottle of water. He pours the water into 50 milliliter glasses. Work out how many glasses Yusuf could completely fill. So 2 liters is 2000 milliliters. And dividing by 50, he can fill 40 glasses. That's the answer. Question 5. Here are the costs of buying theater tickets from a booking agency. The adult tickets are $65 each and child tickets are $45 each. Hassan buys 2 adult tickets and 2 child tickets. The booking agency charges an extra 5% of the total cost as a booking fee. Work out how much Hassan pays altogether. So he buys 2 adult tickets and 2 child tickets. The cost of these is 2 times 65 plus 2 times 45, right? That will be $220 if you calculate everything correctly. Next, the booking agency charges an extra 5%. So we need to find 105% because we are adding 5. Or because it's going up by 5%, that'll be 105% of the original, which is 105 by 100. That's 105% times the original price, which is $220. Now we can cancel out some zeros and then cancel the 5 here to get 21, 2. Cancel this, 11, 1. So 21 times 11 at the end, which is equal to $231. That's the answer. Question 6. Work out 6 1/4 divided by 1 2/3. Give your answer as a mixed number in simplest form. So 6 1/4 can be written as 25 by 4. And 1 2/3 can be written as 5 by 3. So because we're dividing, we flip this fraction, or we find the reciprocal of that fraction, and we multiply by that. So 25 by 4 times the reciprocal of 5 by 3, which is 3 by 5. We can cancel out some 5s, and that would be 15 by 4. In a mixed number, that's 3 by 4. That's the answer. Question 7. Here's the net of a cuboid. Work out the surface area of the cuboid. So the dimension of this cuboid are 5 times 3 times 3. Length, width, height. Right? Now the surface area will be 2 times the length times the width or the breadth plus 2 times the breadth times the height plus 2 times the length times the height, because there will be exactly 2 rectangles with length times breadth. These two will be LB, LB. These 2 rectangles will be length times height. LH, LH. These two, technically rectangles, but in this case they're squares, will be BH times BH. So it's 2 times BH, 2 times LB, 2 times LH, all of them added together. Now, we can simply substitute the values of LB and H. 2 times 5 times 3, plus 2 times 3 times 3, plus 2 times 5 times 3. That would be, if we calculate it correctly, 78 centimeters squared. That's the answer. Question 8. Line AB is shown on the grid. A. Plot the point 0, minus 3 on the grid. Label it C. So 0, minus 3 is the point with x coordinate 0 and y coordinate minus 3, which is this point. So you can label that C. B. ABCD is a rectangle. Write down the coordinates of D. We know that going from A to B is going left 6 units and going down 2 units. And now going from B to C is going right 1 unit and going down 3 units. Now, we need to have AB and DC to be parallel, right? And also, these two should be equal. So we need to make sure that it lies on a line parallel to AB and the distance from A to B is equal to the distance from D to C. The only point where D can be using these conditions is 6, minus 1. So another way to visualize the point D is that we know BA is 6 right and 2 up in terms of vectors. So CD and BA are the same. They have to be equal, otherwise it's not a rectangle. So CD also has to be 6 right and 2 up. And from 0, minus 3, we can go 6 right to 6, minus 3, 2 up to 6, minus 1 to get to D. That has to be D. Because when we join all the dots, you'll get a perfect rectangle. These two lines are parallel, these two are parallel, all the angles are 90 degrees. These two lines are the same length, AB and CD, and then BC and AD are also the same length. So that's a rectangle. The coordinates of D are simply 6, minus 1. Question 9, complete the multiplication grid. So there's a multiplication grid with the value in the row times value in the column. Here, 6 times 4, 24. 8 times 4, 32 is given. 9 times 4, 36. 8 times 7, 56, because 6 times 7 is already given, 42. And now 9 times 7, 63. That's the answer. Question 10. Write these measurements in order from smallest to largest. 0.13 kilometers, 30 meters, 200 meters, 0.127 kilometers. So 0.13 kilometers, let's convert that to meters, 130 meters. 0.127 kilometers also can be converted into meters, which is 127. Now the smallest out of these four, which are all in meters right now, is 30. Smallest is 30 meters. Next is 127 meters, which is given as 0.127 kilometers. After that, we have 130 meters, 0.13 kilometers. And then finally we have 200 meters, which is already given as such. So you can just write it like that. That's the answer. Question 11. Babies born in the hospital are described as having low or medium or high mass at birth. The table shows some information about 200 babies born at the hospital last month. A. Fill in the missing values in the table. So the low mass babies, male and female, are 18 and 22. Therefore, the total will be 18 plus 22, 40. For medium mass, we have 46 plus something will be 106. That something will be 106 minus 46, 60. Now, for high mass and male, we can find it by using this total here. So 18 plus 46 plus this value over here has to be 90. So this value will be 90 minus these two, which is 26. Now we can use a similar method to find this value. 200 minus 40 minus 106. That would be 54. Now 26 plus some value will be 54. So this value has to be 28. And now adding all of these values has to be some value, right? and that value 22 plus 60 plus 28, 110. You can also find that by doing 200 minus 90 is 110, but anyway they're the same value. B. One of the male babies is chosen at random. Find the probability he has medium mass. So we know that there are 90 male babies, and out of that 18 are low, 46 are medium, 26 are high. So to get a medium mass, it's 46 over the total 90, right? So the answer is 46 over 90. That's the answer. Let's go to question 12. Samira owns a bookshop. She makes money from the cafe in the shop as well as from selling books. The bar chart shows Samira's profits between 2019 and 2021. Samira says, my total profits have increased between 2019 and 2021. Write down one other comment to describe how our profits have changed between 2019 and 2021. As you can see here, the slightly black color bar is the book's profit, and the white color bar or the grayish bar is the cafe profit. Now, the cafe bar is increasing in length every year. So in 2019, it's very small. It's approximately 22,000. But then it increases in 2020 to almost double. And then in 2021, it has already become approximately 70,000 profit. And using an opposite trend, as the cafe profits increase, the book's profit are slowly decreasing. It goes from 136,000 all the way down to 110,000 approximately. So we can buy any one of these. The cafe profits have increased from 2019 to 2021. You can write the other one as well, which means the book's profits are decreasing. Both of them are correct answers. Now I can go to question 13. Draw a ring around the fraction that is the largest. 7 by 10, 19 by 30, 11 by 15, 2 by 3. We can convert this all into fractions with denominator 30. So this is 21 over 30. This is 22 over 30. This is 20 over 30. And this last one's already 19 by 30, which has denominator 30. Now in the numerator, this is the largest, 22 by 30, so 11 by 15 is the largest fraction. Question 14, find the highest common factor of 39 and 52. So we can use the division method. The only factor which both are divisible by is 13. And now we have 3 and 4, which are co-prime, which means they don't have any shared factors other than 1. So 13 is the highest common factor. That will be our answer. Question 15. Simplify 3m minus 8n plus 7m plus 5n. That will simply be adding 3m and 7m to get 10m, and then minus 8n plus 5n is minus 3n. So 10m minus 3n is our answer. Expand the brackets. This is part of the same question. Expand the brackets 4x times 7x minus 3. That will simply be multiplying 4x and 7x, we get 28x squared. And then multiplying 4x and minus 3, we get minus 12x. That's the answer. Question 16. Work out 4.2 times 3.6 plus 4.2 times 6.4. That will simply be 4.2 times 3.6 plus 6.4. When we factorize 4.2 out from these two expressions. And that will be 4.2 times 10, which is 42. That's the answer. Question 17. Draw a line to match each calculation to its correct answer. 3 times 10 cubed. That's 3,000. 3 divided by 10 to the power minus 2. That will be 3 divided by 0.01, which is 3 times 100, 300. 3 divided by 10 squared. Now this is 3 divided by 100, which is 0.03, the top option over here. Next, 3 times 10 to the power minus 3. That's 3 times 0.001, which is 0.003. That's the answer. Question 18. Here's the sequence. Find the nth term for the sequence. We can see that the common difference is plus 4 for all one term and the next. So you have to add 4 to go from one term to the next. In other words, that is the term-to-term rule. Now for the nth term, we know that plus 4 is the term-to-term rule. So the nth term will be 4n plus some constant c. Now, at n equals 1, this has to be equal to 7 because that will be the first term, n equals 1. So let me just write at n equals 1 over there. Now, 4 times 1 is 1, so 4 plus c is equal to 7. And that c constant is 7 minus 4, 3. Now, we can just substitute this back in to make 4n plus 3 as the nth term. You can try this with any of the other terms, which are given here, and they will meet the condition. For example, if you substitute 2 in here, you'll get 11. If you substitute 3, you'll get 15, and so on. That's the answer. Question 19. Draw a ring around a number that is nearest in value to the square root of 74. So the square root of 74, so let's just see, this has to be in between the square root of 64, which is 8, right? And then the square root of 81, which is 9. So it's in between these two whole numbers. And that's why these two answers cannot be correct. We can cross them out. Now, I have these three, which is correct. So we can see that the difference between 64 and 74 is a 10. The difference between 74 and 81 is 7. These two are very close to being equal. So 74 is very close to the midpoint of 64 and 81, right? Therefore, the square root of 74 will be very close to the midpoint of the square root of 64 and the square root of 81. And that means it'll be very close to the midpoint of 8 and 9, which is 8.5. And 8.6 is extremely close to 8.5 compared to the other two, right? Therefore, the answer is simply 8.6. Now I can go to question 20. A box of grapes costs $1.60. Work out the cost of 30 boxes of grapes. So that's simply a multiplication problem. $1.60 times 30. And if we did the math correctly, it's $48. That's the answer. I can go to question 21. Write the missing index number in the box. X to the power 7 times x to the power of dash by x to the power of 4 is 8. Now that means x to the power of 7 plus whatever this dash is minus 4 because we're dividing by x to the power of 4. That will be equal to x to the power of 8. So 7 plus that dash minus 4 is equal to 8. And if you work it out correctly, this dash is equal to 5. That's the answer. Question 22. Lily is trying to find out if boys or girls scored generally higher marks in the test. She decides to find out the mode, mean, and range for each group. Here are the results of her calculations. Put a tick next to the group with the generally higher marks and explain your answer. So the mode and range don't actually determine who has the higher marks. The mode only determines the highest frequency of the marks. And the range determines how consistent they were, but only the mean determines how high marks they get. So the group with the higher marks has the higher mean in general, and that's 41.2 for the girls. So the answer explanation is going to be the girls have a higher mean mark than the boys. Also, this is why you need to look at the wording carefully, because it says put a tick next to the group with the generally higher marks. And this means indirectly average higher marks, right? And the average marks for the girls is higher than the boys. And therefore, this is the answer. Question 23. Draw a ring around the incorrect statement. X plus y minus m is equal to x minus m plus y. This is correct. All the terms on the left side and the right side are equal. X plus a minus b is equal to b minus a plus x. Well, this minus b has become a plus b here, and the plus a has become a minus a. Well, that's completely wrong. We're drawing on that. And we know that this is the answer, but I'll just tell you about the other two parts. T times m times c is equal to c times t times n. This is correct. Everything is in its original state on the left hand side and the right hand side. V plus w whole divided by x is equal to w plus v whole divided by x. Well, v plus w and w plus b, no matter what the order is, they will still be the same, right? So dividing both by x are still the same. That's correct. And that would be the answer. This is incorrect. Question 24. Cylinder A has a height of 10 centimeters, is being filled with water. The graph shows how the height in centimeters of the water in the cylinder changes with time in seconds as cylinder A is filled. Describe what the graph shows about the change in height of the water after 2 seconds, compared with before 2 seconds. Well, we can see that the line is starting off slow and then it gets steeper at 2 seconds, right? So, the change in height of the water is basically increasing, or at least the rate of change is increasing. The rate of change of the height of the water in the cylinder has increased. That's the answer. Part B. Cylinder B is identical to cylinder A. Cylinder B is filled with water so that the height of the water increases at a constant rate of 1.25 centimeters per second. Show this information on the same grid. So 1.25 centimeters per second will be, let's see, 1.25, it is right around there. The grid's kind of small, so I can't mark it exactly, but I'll try my best. Let's see. It'll be around there. And that's 1.25 per second. So we can draw this line from 0 to here and extend it using our ruler. Alright, so that it still goes to that same point. Like that. And there we go. This might not be the exact answer because the grid's a bit small, alright, and it's not easy to draw it, but still, like, it's approximately going to that point over here. If we get that point correct, then the rest of the graph will be correct, as long as you draw a straight line. That's the answer. Let's go to question 25. A cyclist leaves home at 8:35. He travels 49 kilometers at an average speed of 14 kilometers per hour. Work out the time he finishes his journey. So the time is equal to distance by speed, which is 49 by 14 kilometers per hour. And that would be 3.5 hours. 3 hours, 30 minutes. Now, adding this 3 hours, 30 minutes to 8 hours, 35 minutes, or 8:35, we get 12:05 in 24-hour time. That's the answer. Question 26. Work out 23 minus 3 times 3 the whole square. So first we do what's inside the brackets, right? And inside the brackets, we have multiplication first. So that would be 23 minus 9 the whole squared. That's, we do the subtraction first because it's inside the brackets. 14 squared, which is 196. That's the answer. Question 27. Draw a ring around the two calculations that have an answer smaller than 73. 73 times 0.26. This will be smaller because we're multiplying by a decimal smaller than 1. 73 divided by 2 by 15. That would be 73 times 15 by 2. Since this is larger than 1 and we're multiplying, that'll be bigger. 73 divided by 0.49. That would be the same thing as dividing 73 by 49 by 100. And that means 73 times 100 by 49. This will be greater than 73, as this number is greater than 1. Now 73 times 3 by 7. 3 by 7 is less than 1, so the final answer is smaller than 73. And that would be the answer, these two will be smaller. Question 28. The diagram shows a scale drawing of a garden. A shed is going to be put here. It must be at least 15 meters away from side AB and at least 20 meters away from the tree marked T. Shade the region where the shed can be built. So this is the garden, and the shed has to be inside the garden, right? So it cannot be outside this rectangle. And now let's convert these meters to centimeters using the scale. So 15 meters is going to be 15 divided by 5, 3 centimeters. 20 meters will be 20 divided by 5, 4 centimeters, right? And now the region where the shed can be built has to be, let's do the first one first, 3 centimeters away from side AB. That means we measure 3 centimeters along here. Let's say that's 3 centimeters over there, and draw a line. So this region, it cannot be, right? So we leave it unshaded because we need to shade the region where it can be built. And then at least 20 meters away from the tree marked T. That means we switch our compass to 4 centimeters, right? And then we can draw a curve, which is basically an arc, part of a circle. So this has to be a circle with radius 4 centimeters, and it should be inside the shed, inside the garden, sorry. And yes, I'm not using a compass here, even though we're supposed to use compass and ruler for this. But that's because I really can't. I'm doing it online, so it's not possible. But then, I'm just showing you how to do this. So, take the compass, put it over here, 4 centimeters, draw this arc. And then, draw a line 3 centimeters away from the side AB at all times. And now, this region over here can be shaded. Let's just do that real quick. You don't have to color it in fully, just draw a few lines there, they'll know it's shaded. So that's the answer. Question 29. The diagram shows a shape made from 5 identical cubes. On the grid, draw the elevation in the direction of the arrow. That means we're looking as though we're over there. So this cube face will be visible, this one will be visible, and this one will be visible. It'll be visible as though it is like this. So these three are the cube faces, and it's like that. So you can draw the elevation like this. Let me just move this line a bit. And yes, that will be our answer. Question 30. Here's a rectangle on the coordinate grid. The rectangle is rotated 90 degrees clockwise about vertex A. So work out the coordinates of the image of vertex B, which means where it will be after the rotation. So it's rotated 90 degrees clockwise about vertex A. So we can draw that rectangle, right? 90 degrees clockwise. It will end up over here. And which point will be the new vertex B? So vertex B started off as the top right. And now rotating it, you can visualize that it will now be the bottom right when you rotate 90 degrees clockwise. And therefore, the coordinates of B will be 4, -2. That's the answer. Now you can go to question 31. A and B are two numbers where 0 is less than A and A is less than 1, and B is greater than 1. Take to show if each statement is true or false. A minus B is less than 0. Well, since A is obviously smaller than B, this is true. A squared is greater than A. Well, this is false because A is less than 1 and is greater than 0. So A squared will confirm be less than A because we're multiplying a small number by a small number. We get an even smaller number. Now AB is greater than B, and that will also be false since B is greater than 1 and AB, even though it might still be greater than 1, you're multiplying B by a number which is smaller than 1. So we're making that number smaller. We're making the final answer smaller than the original. Now B divided by A is greater than B. this is true because we're dividing by a small number. That's the same thing as multiplying by a large number, and therefore it will be greater than the original. By the way, dividing by a small number means dividing by a number less than 1. Only then this will be true. Since a is less than 1, this is true. You can also try with examples. You can set, for example, a is 0.5 and b is 1.5, and then you can try these out for yourself. They will actually be exactly like this. That's the answer. And with that, I come to the end of the video. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, share this video with your friends and family, and comment on how you think this video was. With that, it's me, Sanjay Vasu, signing out. Thank you. Bye.